Hey, Live Anthrax viewers, followers, fans, and all-time great people following me on Twitter and YouTube here. Um, First and foremost, I want to apologize because this week has been kind of slow um, for getting things done. I've been busy. I know it's summer, we're supposed to have more time, but I got family and kids and different things going on, and it's, that's where my focus is. Um, but that will be coming, and I'll get back to that. First, I want to give some news and some of the things that have been going on. I'm a huge wrestling fan, a sports fan, so a lot of these things all collaborate together and fall into the same part. Also, a big superhero fan, so what I'm really looking forward to is the possibility that some people are hoping that Cody Rhodes, who's been recently released by WWE upon his request, really hoping that he can join the cast and crew of Arrow next season. The season just ended last week for Arrow, Flash, and Gotham, so last week or two, whatever. But we're hoping maybe next season we can see Cody Rhodes play a villain on Arrow, because obviously Stardust and the Green Arrow had their feud on WWE ongoing. I hope to see that. Cody Rhodes has talked about joining Ring of Honor. He's booked for Evolve 66, an independent tour, and he's booked for the August 26th Wrestling Under the Stars independent promotion to fight Michael Bennett, who I believe was in TNA for some time. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. Don't quote me on that. But that's being advertised. So Cody Rhodes is doing some independent wrestling stuff, and he's not looking to sign with TNA, it looks like. So Ring of Honor looks like the biggest promotion he might be going to. So no definite promises in any hard contractual obligations. So maybe we will see him do a little bit of acting, and maybe he'll grace Arrow, which I think would really be really cool, and I think Stephen Amell would be open to having something like that. And we're talking about comic books. Sheamus has been promoting TMNT, Out of the Shadows, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2, and there's some great trailer on that, so you definitely got to watch that. Sheamus has been out promoting and being part of that as he is in the movie. So also Seth Rollins was at Wizard something Comic-Con, so that was a big deal. He had a big question and answer and had a big part in that, so I think it's nice to see that some of the WWE superstars are really getting cross brand interaction and just kind of getting out there. So I'm going to continue on. Someone who took part in the very first WrestleMania main event with Hogan and Roddy Piper, Mr. T, was Muhammad Ali. And on June 3rd, we lost Muhammad Ali at age 74. He was fighting some Parkinson's, and obviously in the results of so many blows to the head as being a boxer. But we need to remember Muhammad Ali for obviously representing America in the 1960 Rome Olympic Games and winning a light heavyweight gold medal and bringing it back to the United States, even though he ended up throwing it into a river. And it's questionable, the rest of his actions. Some call him a draft dodger, some call him this. I call him probably the greatest boxer of all time, and just a superb athlete, and a hell of a spokesperson, because he had a way with words, and nobody can argue against that. So there's some of that. I'm gonna look at some of the other things here. Bill Goldberg, known for his long undefeated streak in WCW and then coming to WWE. His last match was against Brock Lesnar, Stone Cold Steve Austin, a special guest referee at WrestleMania 20, 21. Don't quote me. But then all three of them had walked away again from the company. So he hasn't had anything in previous years. They've been asked, are you going to return? Are you going to do this? Are you going to do that? And he hasn't said anything. He's never said anything about wanting to return or going to return to WWE. But this last Monday night, Bill Goldberg was the hatch, as they called it, that was taking part in the show. So the hatch was that he was being promoted for WWE 2K17 video game, and there'll be 2 playable versions of him on the video game, I guess, for DLC or maybe already in the game or an unlockable achievement. I don't know. Haven't read into that too much, but Bill Goldberg will be on there. And that makes people kind of wonder, is there going to be a return for Bill Goldberg? Is there going to be one more match? Is there going to be some more matches? What's going to happen? Is he going to be inducted in the Hall of Fame come next March or April, whenever WrestleMania is? So what's going to be happening with Bill Goldberg in WWE? Because obviously there's something going on. Speaking just solely of WWE and what's kind of going on there, big news has started to come up here this last week or so. WWE will be indulging in the brand split again, and starting June 19th, I believe, Friday Night SmackDown will now be on Tuesday nights, which it was on Tuesday nights. It was just recorded. It will now be a Tuesday night show on the USA Network after June 19th or whatever it is, and it will be live. There will be a brand split, and some rumors been going around who's going to be on what show and what's going to happen. The latest rumors I've seen have been suggesting that Roman Reigns, will be the face of Raw, and John Cena will be the face of SmackDown, which I don't have a problem with. I think both could do it, and both have big enough reactions from audience, whether it's good or bad. They're both hated and loved. I mean, it's a big split. And I think Roman Reigns is finally starting to come around a little bit with the character. I think they're letting him be kind of more of a heel in a face kind of standpoint. I mean, heel and face is really starting to fade away in this new era of wrestling. If the fans like you, they like you. If they don't, they don't. And there's a big split for especially guys like Cena and Reigns. Half the crowd hates them, half the crowd loves them. But there's that WWE brand split, and we'll definitely be seeing a break in the roster. One projected thing which would carry on is Reigns being obviously on Raw, and the top heel would be Rollins, Seth Rollins, former team member in The Shield, would also be on Raw, and that would be able to continue their feud and move on to more things. Another rumored idea would have been John Cena being the face of SmackDown and AJ Styles being the top heel, and obviously the Bullet Club would be on SmackDown with him. Well, the club. They're not the Bullet Club anymore because they're not in New Japan World Order. It looks like Finn Balor will not be moving up to the ranks and joining the club anytime soon. We don't know. Maybe he'll stay in NXT. I don't know. I would like to see him moved up to the main level, but that's how it's going to go, so we don't really know. But when we speak of John Cena, he did make this return and ended up being attacked by AJ Styles on his heel turn, and pledging his authority with the club and being a full heel. Cena's also made big news as his return. He became with a new clothing brand, and that just so happened to be a red, white, and blue banner with some ribbon and very PBR, past blue ribbon style, and you could see the resemblance, but it was all natural WWE and John Cena. It was completely original content, and I've read WWE's lawyer said that it was original content, and they'd be willing to take it, but because PBR served a cease and desist order, so WWE has pulled the merchandise from their shelves and WWEshop.com, and I imagine we'll be seeing new John Cena stuff because it's not worth their time to really mess around with it and to have to pay for the court fees, lawsuits, and whatever. Let PBR be dumb. I mean, John Cena wore green and yellow, and John Deere never sued him, so it's dumb. But whatever. If PBR wants to do stupid shit like that, they can do stupid shit like that. Also with John Cena was that he gave an interview here recently about all of his Make-A-Wish Foundation acts, and he has had over 5,000 or 500 Make-A-Wish meetings, I guess you'd call them, where he's made the wish for young people, and in doing that, John Cena said he feels like he hasn't done enough. He says that's 500 over 15 years he's been with the business, and he says that's not good enough. That means there's over 4,970 some days that he said he sat idle when he could have been filling time for some of these people or some of these kids, and making kind of their dreams come true. So for John Cena, that's honorable. You got to give a guy that credit and appreciate it. So that's what I believe. But that's some of the big news in the wrestling and sports entertainment world. But finally, I'm going to come down to Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar is still under WWE's contract, and he will be appearing at SummerSlam, as I said. Some have speculated what this clause was, or if there's a clause, but here's my thoughts. Brock Lesnar will be returning to UFC while his contract is still active at WWE. Now, this may be something from Vince and Dana White. It may not be. But my thinking is that something with Vince and Dana White. Lesnar said he's still interested in fighting UFC, and he suffered and had to quit because of some diverticulitis, infection in the guts and different things, and that kind of he said on the Steve Austin podcast that he felt kind of robbed from his health, and it took him a long time to get better, so he had to quit. He left UFC with a record like 5-3, was a world champion, and the only man in the world to ever win the collegiate heavyweight national championship, the WWE heavyweight championship, and the UFC heavyweight championship, and you can also throw in the IWJP Japan Professional Wrestling heavyweight championship if you really want to. The heavyweight, he's a heavyweight triple crown and the only one to do that, so that's kind of a big thing, I guess. But he will be returning, and he will have a fight at UFC 200, and he is not determined to have an opponent yet, but people are starting to speculate about who is that going to be also. But my thing is, UFC is going to get Brock Lesnar for a fight. I think WWE will probably get Ronda Rousey for a fight because she's teased with The Rock at previous WrestleManias, not this last, but the one before. this last with the segment with The Rock, Ronda Rousey, Triple H, Stephanie McMahon. So there is that. I don't want to make this video real long. We just hit 15 minutes, so I'm going to cut this short. Brock Lesnar for Ronda Rousey, one big event swap. So that's what I see coming out of that. In other news, Nintendo released more feed for the next Pokemon Generation games. Which is their second largest tagged name franchise under Nintendo. The second largest money maker for Nintendo behind Mario. So that's big news in the world. The futuristic Call of Duty is still receiving a bunch of crap. The Clash of Clans update is fairly great. I like it. Other people seem to like it. Not too many complaints. Valks are still way overpowered, so keep playing on that. And now to get back to some of the live Anthrax kind of ideas. The X-Men Apocalypse review is coming. I'm sorry, it's not up yet. I promised it this week, and it's Saturday night, Sunday morning now, and it's not up. Will and I are going to be collaborating on this. He already has his personal stuff up. Check out his page. It's great. Ours won't be so much as a review as we're gonna bullshit. We're gonna talk about the movie, talk about how we feel. We're gonna talk probably about other comics and movies too. But I think X-Men will probably be our big focus. We're gonna try to record that Tuesday. I have some software downloaded on my laptop and for recording, and we're gonna try to either Facebook video call or Skype video call and get that recorded and just sit down and have a conversation and see where we can get with some of that. So that X-Men Apocalypse review is coming soon, and we're just going to try to keep up to date with some of those things going forward. We got Suicide Squad and Doctor Strange still coming out, but that's later in the year, like August, September, November. So we'll see how some of that goes and see where we lead from there. And that should be good. And I hope that Will and I do more than just a couple of movies. I would like to do some more collaboration between our two shows and get some involvement, talk about comics, talk about this, and see where we wind up. I mean, once we get it started and kind of underway, it's going to get a lot easier, and we're going to figure out how to kind of move things around and figure out what we want to do. So there'll be more. There'll be a lot more, and I'm glad about that. So I appreciate you listening and watching this live Anthrax news update, and getting filled in on some future events that will be covered and definitely talked about. Just some of the many things that I am interested in, and we'll keep pushing forward. So Tuesday, we want to try to record X-Men Apocalypse talk between Will and I, and we'll try to keep moving forward and get some of that. So if we get it recorded Tuesday, Tuesday nights are baseball nights, so I don't know if it'll be up Tuesday night, but we could definitely try to have it up Wednesday, Thursday. So middle of next week sometime, look for the review. Obviously follow me on Twitter at DJ_StormRay. Tweet me, do whatever. I'm not checking the KBCU account. I just don't have time. I'm not doing it. It's not worth the hassle. I could, but I'm not getting paid for it. So, whatever, you know. It's summer session. I'm not getting anything out of it. So, whatever you have for KBCU, just leave it, and eventually I might get around to it here later this summer. But the best thing would be come directly to some of my accounts. So you can do any of that, and it's not a big deal. So also find Will, read some of his stuff. He's got the Hero blog. You can Google for that. Will have the Hero blog. I don't have the link to it off the top of my head. Search for him on the Blaze website. You'll find his entertainment column. and obviously you can find him on Facebook and Twitter. So, and YouTube. Find him on YouTube. We go back and forth and have different things, and obviously we're collaborating, so you need to follow him just as much as you need to follow me. He's got more entertainment. He has weekly shows. A lot more time to put that stuff and a lot more know-how than I do, obviously, but I'm getting better. We're going to grow. So thank you for tuning in and listening to a little bit more of live Anthrax, minus the rock and roll. Sorry, but we'll get more about that, and we're going to get more. It's just going to be more. It's a work in progress. Busy summer. You know how things go. So, thank you, and keep following. Look next midweek for X-Men Apocalypse review between myself and Will Abbott. Have a great night. I'm going to get some sleep.